We got some heavy rain. All right. I think I got everything going. Y'all doing all right? The bottom just fell out here about 20 minutes ago. I didn't even know it was supposed to rain.
Yeah.
But it's okay. We got a big list of questions to get through. Hope y'all are doing good. Feel free to chat with us in the comments. Let me turn that on. Hang on one second.
There we go. I've got to add.
Alright. There we go.
What's up, Samuel?
What's going on? It's been an interesting day. I wish there was some stuff we could tell y'all that happens here, but I'm afraid a lot of the folks we would be talking about watch. So, what's going on, Richard? So I won't do that because I don't want to run people away, but we've had some doozies.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can tell one. The last one.
Oh, Lord, man, I'm telling you.
We just had a guy come in with a dry-fired bow wanting a cam, which he paid for us to order, and the limbs are messed up. He didn't want limbs. He's been shooting it with a warp cam, like a bad warp cam, and then it completely blew up. He's wanting to put a cam on it and then sell it to somebody. And TJ told him 100 times, he's like, I wouldn't draw it unless you replace limbs and cams, because the limbs got two big old chunks out of it. Anyway, he pretty much told TJ he was going to throw that cam on it and
try to sell it
and dump it. So I don't know. What's going on, everybody?
What's up, Stanley, Brad?
Let's see.
Jeff.
You say Stanley?
Yeah.
Are you back, Stanley, from your big trip? I can't remember what the dates were.
Let's see here.
We'll start going through our questions, and then lawsuit, no joke. That's gonna be. I just can't believe. I won't go into the whole story he told us, but anyway, it got better as it went.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll jump into our questions, and then y'all can ask or comment or whatever below. We'll try to jump back and forth between stuff we've got sent in and live feed.
Mm-hmm. Doug asked, what size fiber optic do you guys prefer?
I'm a 19 thousandths man. What do y'all think?
Me too.
The 10 that I've tried on almost 3 sites was just too small.
Yep.
Couldn't get it to light up. I've tried it 10 thousandths with lights and this, that, and the other in different colors, and it's just too small, and I can't deal with it. I'm a 19 man through and through.
Yeah. Now 15,000 ain't that bad. I've run it one time before.
Extreme offered that, right?
Yeah, Extreme. And
I hate that they went out.
Yeah, I know. But I ran that 15,000, and it wasn't. I really liked it, but like I said, now 19 is pretty much all I got.
Yeah.
Let's see what all we got.
Donahue, what'd you put? 10 thousandths. Have you got good eyes?
Let's see. Next one I got is, how many arrows should I buy starting out? And that comes in from Gary.
I mean, 6 is fine.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I guess if you're brand new and you might lose a few, you might ought to get a dozen. I guess if your budget can handle it, get a dozen.
Mm-hmm.
6 is fine. I mean, used to, I remember you bought a dozen religiously.
Yeah.
You set like 6 aside to hunt with, 6 to practice with, but it's not like that anymore.
No.
The arrows have changed, so
Yeah.
you can do it all with the same 6 if you don't lose them.
That's right. Let's see. Jim says, can we explain what diameter field tip I need for which arrow?
So most of your standard carbon arrows are going to take a 5/16, except it's weird. This is a weird story, but I guess I'll tell the whole thing. Several years back, most of the inserts didn't have that little flare out on them, and that's supposed to be to protect the arrow and all this stuff. And while it may protect the arrow, it's a huge pain in the butt if you shoot a bag target. Mm-hmm. That's what'll grab, and it won't come out of a bag target, and you end up cussing it out and cutting it open and everything else. But anyway,
yeah.
So now most standard carbon arrows, the insert has a tiny little flare out to it. So it takes a 5/16. Used to you could get away with a 9/32, but it takes 5/16.
Yep.
Standard size carbon. Your axis arrows, most of you like 5mm Easton stuff, you're gonna go 9/32. Most aluminum's back. I doubt anybody's still shooting them, but that was an 11/32. But nobody ever shoots aluminum anymore.
No.
And then you get into like deep six stuff when you get to micro Easton stuff. But even like, let's say X impacts and deep impacts that we stock from Black Eagle, they still have that big bulky outsert on the end. So 5/16 fits that big old outsert. So that's just kind of 5/16 is by far what we sell the most of.
Yep.
With occasional 9/32. But that's kind of the quick rundown.
Let's see. Alan asked, cat whiskers or string leeches?
I don't know. I guess I don't know.
It's
I still like cat whiskers, but I hadn't done a test. They probably slow your bow down more than a leech. I feel like a leech really works, but there's a much improved formula than what they used to be, but they still fall apart.
oh yeah.
So I don't know. I really don't.
I mean, cat whiskers is something that you can, do yourself at home. I mean, it's not that hard to put them on or anything, but a leech, you got to have a press to separate the string and all that good stuff. Let's see here. Charles asked, any disadvantages of more let off?
We've seen people have a lot more torque and grip issues with less let off. It may be easier to hold, but your form problems come into play more, you know what I mean? So we get a lot of bows in all the time of people having these weird paper tears, and then like, I'll shoot it, TJ will shoot it, Partain will shoot it, whoever will shoot it, will bullet hole, bullet hole, bullet hole. So then we'll be like, I mean, you don't want to be like, you suck, but you got to be like, all right, something's going on with your grip here, because everybody else is getting a bullet hole. And everything's square and all that sort of thing. And usually it's that low let off, you get back and get lazy and get to twisting on that grip or doing whatever.
You mean high let off?
High let off, you know what I mean. And so yeah, that's usually the problem.
Yep. When you go to high let off, you got to watch your grip, because you can get a lot of inconsistencies with a grip. And
PSC put a video out around about 2017 that's neat. I'd have to find it, but it's on YouTube. And it showed some let off differences of like, you'd hit the trigger and like on a high let off, it was like the string waited a minute, like, all right, I'm ready, and go. But on a let's say that's 90% let off. Let's say on a 65% let off, it was more of as soon as you hit the trigger, the string's ready to rock and roll. So that's got, they called it something in that video, something fancy, I can't remember. But in other words, your arrows stayed on your string longer and all this stuff with higher let off. So I guess all that comes into play more than people realize.
Yeah, and if you got a 90%, you know that if you draw them back and you go to let down, even like 80-85%, as you start easing, you can kind of feel the string coming with you. But 90%, you literally almost have to push the string yourself to get it to, to let down without firing it. But let's see. Richard says, have we tried the Skylon arrows? He's trying them out.
I don't think I've even heard of them.
I don't either. He said 3D and field arrow.
That's like, what arrows are the hunting public boys shooting? I've never heard of them, whatever they were. Surely somebody knows.
I can't remember.
I was trying to watch some of their stuff the other day about their equipment and all, and they got their own line or whatever, and it's a smaller arrow company. Because when I went to the website, it pretty much said if you order from them, it's like a 4-week lead time. I guess they like super customized stuff.
Oh,
I can't remember. Was it like Vector or Matrix or somebody will know in a minute.
Vector, I think. But let's see here. Next one we got in. Larry says, "Can I practice too much? I notice some days I get worse."
Yeah, we TJ told a lady a while ago that bought a bow. Can we get a hand clap for TJ? He sold like 6 bows a day, non-stop, while I was in the back trying to work on a bunch of random crap. I don't see any hand claps, but TJ, we appreciate you. Anyway, TJ told a lady a while ago, he was like, you know, don't go out there and wear yourself out, because what will ultimately happen is, one, you'll get tired, you'll start shooting bad, you'll just get irritated. Two, you'll just keep shooting, you'll get your arm real sore, and then you'll come back the next day and still be super sore, and you're not really doing anything. So there's got to be a limit, and I don't want to say a number because
everybody's different.
yeah, I mean, like, well, we other than customer bows, we don't shoot a ton, but our limit may be 60 arrows, but a new person could be
10.
10 or 18, and then somebody that shoots every day could be a couple hundred. So it's just according to what you can stand, but.
Well, and the biggest drawback too is practicing too much, is especially like with your sights, because you may be hitting bullseyes from 20 to 60 with your bow, and you start shooting too much, that group opens up, you start putting arrows everywhere. Well, guess what? What do you normally do? You're going to start moving that sight.
Yeah, your form breaks down and you grip it different, and then the next day you show up and you hit 6 inches left and you don't know what's going on. And or I don't know if they're watching, but the Merritt brothers, they tend to shoot several hundred or 1,000 times and get tired, and they just let their whole release go. I don't know how many bows have been fixed from them with them just letting the release go and tearing everything all to hell. Don't do that.
Yeah. So let's see here. Shane wants us to name a few decent used bows that he should look at buying. That's a long list of bows.
Let's say, he didn't say hunting or target, but we're going to assume hunting. So, budget-friendly used hunting bows. I mean, let's just start, all right, so Matthews, you can look around the Halon line. I've seen the Halons, even maybe the Triax for okay prices. But Matthews hold their value better than anything, so that's what you're going to pay the most for. But I would say don't go back past, about 2011, 12, around the Creed solo cam days. You get much older than that, you're getting into pretty old, slower bow, even though there's a lot of great bows back then. Yeah. We really need more information from him.
I mean,
and Bowtech, you got to be careful with the Bowtech, because they had some bad years from like 2010, especially about 14, 15. Limbs were blowing up, so if you buy used, you're not going to have the warranty. Be careful with Bowtech. Yeah. I'll just say. And then Hoyt had a lot of good stuff. They've had a lot of good, like even the Nitram stuff, 2015-ish. Even before then, they had a lot of good stuff. I'd say with the Hoyt stay 2012, 13 and newer. PSE, Lord, they got 18,000 bows every year, so same kind of thing. Stay within 5-6 years.
In a prime, I'm still seeing Rises.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Rise is a good bow.
The Synergy Hybrid. Well, they still make the Synergy Hybrid, don't they? Or did they finally discontinue?
It'll be gone this year.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing in some of these in the used bow world is you get like Matthews and PSC is roughly about 10 to 15 years they'll keep parts on bows, and after that you won't be able to find a part for it. So. Yeah.
We got a 2010 model PSE that a guy needed a cam for, and they don't have it. What other big brands were at Hoyt? I mean, that's the big Bear. Bear had some nice bows like the Arena, the Agenda. Again, back at 20, I'd say just overall 2012, 2013, and forward, you're pretty much good for. Be careful with the Bowtech, and I really do enjoy a Bowtech bow, but I do know they had a lot of trouble starting with the Destroyer and slowing down a lot around 2015 when they went in-house with limbs, I think. But so just be careful.
Let's see. Bruce said the Skylinaires are common in Europe. He said he first saw them was on Archery Supplies on YouTube. He said that guy really bragged him up. He said they got them from budget to top end. Jeff 07 says that he did it again and went and bought a Bear species. What are our thoughts? He said, I did my research. I think I made a good choice. It will be in tomorrow when I get off work.
The species, we probably, it's one of our top selling bows. I like it. It's a good, good bow. You know, you got your lifetime warranty.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good price. It may not be the fastest of bows, but it's adjustable.
Yeah.
If somebody walks in and says, you know, I mean, it's not like a super adjustable like a cruiser bow.
Or
So
a jet, or
so I mean, it's more of a good bare bones hunting bow that
Mhm.
ain't no joke. So I like it.
and I mean they really shoot pretty good for the price point they're at.
Yep.
Yeah, on some of the older, I don't know on the newer Athens, but they still offer the transferable warranty. I can't remember. I know Obsession did for a while, but they canceled that. I think it was 2015 and earlier that they would do that. Let's see. Oh, Mario, yeah, we got your order, Mario. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Let me get back to my questions list here. Vernon asked, I'm right-handed but left eye dominant. Any advice?
Probably shoot left-handed.
Yep.
We've noticed if you get in that position, you gonna either have to, if you're gonna shoot right-handed, you about gonna have to cover up that left eye because it's always gonna want to take over.
Yep.
And ultimately, it may be a learning curve, but if you want to shoot left-handed,
Yep.
in the end, you'll shoot better.
The only drawback to left-handed stuff is that it's hard to get, and normally, like new bows or anything like that, it's normally the last ones to go in production.
I've been surprised this year. We ordered a pretty decent quantity of left-handed bows compared to what we normally do, and we're down to one. So maybe next year I'll up it even more. What's a better grip for an Elite Synergy torqueless? I know a lot of people like the torqueless grips. I've never put one on a Synergy or seen one on a Synergy, but a lot of people. I'm more of a lot of those Elite bows will wrap it with lizard skin type of guy. But you guys think left-handed shooters should shoot left helical? I mean, out of a traditional bow, you pretty much have to not crash into the riser. But a lot of right-handed shooters shoot left helical to twist the arrow away from their face. But it really, for the compound, it don't make a whole lot of difference. Some people get into the which way the bear shaft's twisting off the string, but in my testing, it don't make a hill of beans.
Randy asked, shooting my first 3D shoot in 2 weeks. Any pointers?
I mean, just, I don't know what class you're shooting, but practice 30, 40, 50 yards, be safe, and, you know, wear you some good shoes, and that's about it. I mean, some people just wear like a hip quiver, some people wear a backpack with arrows in it, some people take a little shooting chair. Think about that, you know. And I guess worst case scenario that we kind of think about is we like to start early, because if you don't, around here you'll come up on a bunch of groups, and sometimes they'll be slow poked, so you'll end up sitting and waiting on the group in front of you to shoot. So just kind of think about that. If you do have that scenario, do you want to be able to sit down, or you find standing up for a while, or...
Brad Maccabee says, we done seen, you got that one, never mind. Let's see here. Dean says, any experience with torqueless D-loops on longer axle-to-axle bows?
I used to fool with them a little bit, but I hadn't in a while. It does make sense to me, especially with a handheld release without a swivel head, because the way that torqueless works, or obviously torqueless D-loop, but when you put that twist into it, it's not trying to twist that string a little bit. And I guess there's something to be said for testing which helical you got, because I mean, especially people always want these short little loops, but then, you know, unless you're going to shoot your handheld like this, most people are at least going to turn it a little bit. It's going to be pushing on that loop and string a little bit, trying to make it, you know, twist a certain way, whether you're right or left-handed. But I hadn't messed with torqueless stuff in a while. They work. There's nothing wrong with them, but I hadn't. It's probably been 10 years since I've made or shot one.
I know the Torchless likes to separate the serving real
can.
bad. Let's see here. Mark's asked, what's the difference in a $400 versus a $2,000 bow setup?
$1,500, no, $1,600. Let me answer this guy real quick. I'd say the things you're gonna feel less vibration. You're probably gonna get a little bit more speed, and less plastic parts. I mean, or it may or may not. Some of the cheapest of cheap bows are coming out of China, even though they don't advertise they are. So it's probably not going to come from China. But overall, you're just going to have less vibration, a better feeling grip. You know, probably more machining on the riser, that sort of thing. Probably a lot of the cheaper bows have a spongy back wall. You get it back, and it's just kind of moving a little bit. A lot of the higher ends are more of a bonk.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it.
Pretty much. You don't have as much plastic, like plastic limb cups, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was trying to read comments. I wasn't. Let's see here. Larry, I seen conflicting info on YouTube. Example, broadhead impacting 2 inches right of field tips. Which way to move rest?
You're supposed to move the field tip to the broadhead, but I have a hard time doing that. I look for any other possible way to get that thing hitting the same, because it's almost like you're untuning the bow to make a certain broadhead fly right. I'll look at my cam lean. If the bow's got yokes, I'll play with those. I'll do anything I can possibly do before I'll do that. But if I have to, I'll move the field tip toward the broadhead. So I don't know what he said, but if your broadhead's sitting right of your field tip, then I'd move the rest to the right to make the field tip meet it. But I don't like doing that. I really don't. And then, I mean, I'll try a backup broadhead, another anything. I mean, if it's all giving me the same result, then we got something going on, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just that one broadhead doing that, then I'm like, okay, something, I don't know about this.
Yeah. And it's one of them too that your setup may just not like that broadhead. I mean, we've seen bows that don't like certain types of arrows or certain arrow spine.
Yeah, like we've had bows. I'm just throwing this as an example. We shoot a 350 Outlaw, and it hates it.
Mm-hmm.
We switch to a 350 Renegade, and it bullet holes with it and shoots great. It's just certain
things.
stuff.
Let's see here. Chad says, my peep started twisting suddenly after 4 years of no issues. Is it time to change my harness?
Peep started twisting after a while.
Yeah.
Usually that means that you got a possible like strand or two broke under a serving, or your string's just super duper getting old and dried out and stretching. Did you say how old the string was?
4 years.
Yeah, I'd change strings and cables and be done with it. But usually if something's fine for a long time and then it suddenly changes, there's something going on under that serving that you don't see.
Larry says a certain archery expert that has a flow green and black logo mentions to go the other way.
Mm.
You answer is the way I do it. So
that's how I do it, and I rarely do it. But if I absolutely 100% can't get it to act right, then that's what I do.
Last question I got, and this is going to be a doozy.
Oh God.
Mitchell's asked, do most cities allow shooting bows at a residence? My neighbor keeps telling me he's calling the law on me.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard of different homeowners associations that in their rules you can't shoot anything and all this stuff, and you'd have to look in your, like where we're at, we could probably go downtown Anderson and set a target up and shoot and probably get away with it. But some towns I've heard are pretty strict, especially you get in the bigger cities and all that. So I don't know. I will tell this story because I think it's been long enough and we ain't gonna go to jail. we went down to Myrtle Beach and shot a tournament one time, and we're up on about the 5th floor, and we took a bag target with us, and TJ ran out to the pool, which was down. It was there was nobody at the pool. It was winter.
Yeah,
but,
it was cold.
He ran out there with a bag target, and I ranged it off the balcony real quick and was firing arrows off the balcony. And in all honesty, it was fun and funny and all that stuff, but I really was checking my sight. And but anyway, some old people came out and started raising hell, so he run back up with it. But it was kind of funny.
Oh yeah, it was a good trip.
But the you'd have to check with your local people. Around here, we don't have no problem, but I don't know anything about anywhere else or anything like that. You can shoot at your home, but not at the condo. Your yard has to have a fence. Yeah, and I mean, you want to be smart, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you got a, like, for example, back when I was working at the hospital, a lady bought a bow for her daughter from me, and the daughter, they lived in some subdivision where the houses were super close. Well, the daughter wanted to show the grandma the bow, and she snatches it back and lets it rip and sends an arrow into the side of the house next door. And it was I think it was a pretty big ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
And she was telling me about it, and I'm like, yeah, they got some power. I mean, even a Genesis bow, you can send an arrow over 100 yards. So, I mean, a regular compound, you can go 300-400 yards and plus. So,
it is
anyway.
I guess check your homeowners association and
any city kind of, if you're in
any
city ordinance
stuff
and all that. But I would think if you got like a wood fence or something that's going to stop an arrow around you, you probably won't get. But if you got that, they're probably not going to know you're shooting. So I'm imagining this cat is out in front of everybody showboating.
Probably. I mean, we don't know where he's from or anything like that, so. Trying to think of what else.
I don't know. It's been wild at the shop. We're still down a few helpers, and we are hanging in there kinda. But there's so much stuff being dropped off. It's a weird mix because on the off season we still do a lot of strings, and it works out great. But like right now, there's so much walk-in traffic. It's hard to keep up with what's. It's a mess. But we hang it. We got another month or so, and then it should calm down. We have trouble in the yard. Love the country. Safety wins over common sense. Yeah, it does. I mean, even we got a 100-yard range out beside the shop here, but I've been out there sighting in bows before, and you miss a bag target, and it'll skid off the little map we got and come back up in the air, and usually it'll end up all the way at the 100-yard target. But if that wasn't there, who knows? It'd still go another 100, So,
Anyway,
I
know one of the big questions I've been getting asked here in the shop lately is, how often do I apply string wax to my string, or when do I do it? And there's really not a right or wrong answer. It really depends on how much you shoot. But I always tell people, about every 250, 300 shots, or if it feels dry, you put some string wax on there. I know people shoot a lot more than that, but roughly 300 shots and you'll be fine. 250, 300, something like that. Crossbow's one where you got to do it a little bit more often. I got that a lot lately, is the crossbows. I always tell people roughly 50, 60 shots, and you want to put some rail lube on that rail about every 5 shots just to keep that thing from.
Can we tell the story about the little crossbow man that was going to shoot the deer, or no? No, I think you might have said. We'll save it a little while before we tell it, because I think he might have found us on here.
Whatever happened to the pickup with the arrow in the grill?
She gone.
Oh, me.
If anybody messages me and I don't answer you back, I ain't trying to ignore you. We just got too much stuff going on.
Yeah.
This phone, I'm looking, I bet you there's 20 or 30 things popped up since we've been on here. I've tried to answer a few, but anyway.
Yeah.
Some people come in and they're like, I thought you hated me. I'm like, no, I can't answer that many people.
Yeah.
We need secretaries.
And that's the thing, if you call the shop and you don't get us, just probably we're on the other line or with a customer or something.
We've upgraded to 3 lines, and we've had times where all 3 are in use, and it's still bung bung bung, somebody's trying to call, and it's like, good God, we're gonna pull our hair out. Somebody who's texting now. Well, I don't know what that said.
So it's one of them. If it rings and we don't answer, just try to give us a few minutes. We're either on the phone with somebody or helping somebody at the front counter, or I don't know, maybe the bathroom. So, but we will do our best.
Well, it's been fun talking to y'all. Hopefully these little live things are cool for y'all too. I guess we're gonna get off here and find us something to eat.
Yep.
I'm gonna probably come back and work on some more stuff. I don't think it does, Brad. I think that Conquest quiver right now is only black, real tree, mossy oak.
I think that's it.
That might be it.
I think.
But I'm sure they will offer more in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a nice quiver. It's funny because like I'm over the newness of it, but we showed it to some boys that bought some primes the other day, and they went crazy over it. And I was like, well, I guess I should have been showing this. But anyway, we'll get off here, let y'all get to it. But we're gonna eat us some dinner and see what happens. But we'll see y'all next Thursday. Have some more videos out. We're behind the broadhead video because it poured down rain on us, and we're gonna try to do it this week. But it looks like it's just gonna happen Saturday, so there technically won't be a broadhead video till probably Monday. It's gonna be a Grim Reaper 2-inch cut whitetail special, so that'll be a good one. So stay tuned for that.
Yep.
And I don't know what else is coming up, but it'll be good.
Don't either.
We'll get off here. See y'all.
All right. See y'all.